What is going on, everybody? Got a little bit different of a video here. If you have ever played Payday 2 or seen my channel where it is that I've had Payday 2 going, you will recognize some of the stuff that's going on here on the screen. In fact, give me just a second. I think I'm gonna pause it and switch it over just to show you what it is that's going on. Like here, in fact, let me go ahead and just whoop, and then we go ahead and bring up this other stuff. Now, if you happen to recall, there was this other one where it is that like I had some other stuff going, and I was explaining everything that was going on in that video. It was a stealthing video that I was doing, but I was still playing this flat screen and basically on a system. It can be it can be a complicated game. Definitely a little troublesome and whatnot. But it was fun as hell, and it was really buggy. I started playing this on PS3, and then there were things that you were able to do. They advanced it to PS4 and then also to PC, and I really was butthurt with the game because they just basically had they manipulated and turned around everything it was that I was doing. But I was a little butthurt about that, and I mean, and as you can see, like the UI all happens to be there, like it all works, it's all good. And I mean, and that's just it. The game is simple, right? The buttons are the buttons. But what if they went ahead and flipped it over to VR? So that's what it is that basically we're gonna take a look at here. So going back on over to what we were doing. This is a loud one, and I mean, and I've only got like 9 minutes of this, I think, and it was basically just to show everybody what it is that's going on. So this is still the same starting screen. You can purchase all the same stuff to begin with. The yellow box that I actually happen to have at my feet is like my play area, or where it is that I'm intended to stand, where it is that I'm looking at all this stuff. Now, I can go into depth later on and explain all the controls, but there have been plenty of people to do that. But fact of the matter is, like, this particular thing, Payday 2 VR has been, it's 5 years old. On top of the fact that the game itself happens to be like 10 years old or something to that extent. Like, I was playing this, or you know what, maybe not that long, excuse me. I think, okay, I want to say maybe 6-7 years at most. So 10 was a bit of a stretch. But as you can see, like, the controls are all there. I can turn, I can use my hands, I can move my body, and I mean, and it's all there. Like, this game is absolutely a blast. But being in VR, it allows for you to do things that were not allowed in the normal in the normal game itself. So when it is, so you see, like, I look down, that's the user interface. Like, I've got my watch on my right hand. You can actually pick which hand that you happen to have the firearm in. So, like, you can rearrange the UI as well. So if I was right-handed, I would put my gun on my right side, and I'd be able to have all that jazz. That computer there is where I can see the chat. I can see the players that are coming into the lobby. I can see others that join. I can see their health and what it is that they brought. Being in VR, it allows you to do two things at the same time. So you can actually pack up money. You can subdue a guy, all while it is that you have your gun out still with your completely other hand. Now, there is no jump button, so the jumping is a little weird, which actually you're going to see me have trouble with here in a second. I actually had to realize something. You can melee as fast as you want. It's pretty wild. So you see, I'm trying to jump over. Like, I'm totally in a panic right now because I'm thinking that everybody had discovered me, and what it is that I haven't realized is that it's only there's only a certain guy. So there's a dash button that's on the controllers that I'm able to use, and it's that I'm trying to figure out how to make me jump. And basically, I have to use the grip on my offhand to turn it on first. See, that's why I'm shaking my hand. I thought it was always something that turned on normally. But anyway, managed to figure it out. You have to use the grip on the offhand, then point it to where you want to jump, and then push the dash button on your gun hand. But it's absolutely a blast. I mean, you see, you're able to aim. This is me aiming with my hand. You can stick the gun out. You can stick it through shields. It's absolutely a blast. I mean, I wanted everybody to be able to see what it is that was going on with this. So you see, my aiming is a lot better. Anybody who has ever played games with me knows that my aim is the worst. Okay, it is the absolute worst. I don't know how to aim. I don't know how to shoot. But with VR, I'm gonna take your head off before you take mine. Period. I'm pretty accurate. I'm pretty quick with it, and every single day it is that I happen to play a little more and more. Like, I'm just getting better at it the more and more VR games that I happen to play. There's a wide array of free games that they have on VR as well, but with this, I already had on PC. It was just like a why not kind of deal, Like, I honestly, I didn't happen to have any real want for the game. Because I had already played it. I platinumed this game actually on PlayStation 3, and then I went on to go get it on PS4, and I had no want to really play it. And then when I saw that VR was a thing, I was just getting into virtual reality, so I went ahead and I paid the, I went ahead, bit the bullet, paid the $10 on Steam, so that way I can have this game, and I hook my VR headset up to it, and I have an absolute blast. Now, I don't have the lock picking skill on this particular one, but understand that as well, I can pick locks and hold on to the gun with my gun hand at the same time, and I can actually cover myself. So for a lot of you guys that like have trouble picking the saves and things of that nature, because your back is usually locked to where you're going, it takes that trouble away from you, and you can actually cover yourself while you're doing what you need to do. But honestly, and the only reason why it is that I didn't happen to get more footage, as you can see, it started to get a little choppy here, and I wasn't really appreciating how my computer was handling that, because I was recording onto my computer as well as streaming to my computer, and it was just a lot of processing power that I was asking of my poor little GPU. But I mean, it was able to handle the job and do so quite well. You don't even need to look in the direction, as another little tidbit, you do not even need to look in the direction in which that you are interacting with your spare hand. So you see, I just threw that bag behind me out the door, and I didn't even have to look in that direction, and that's actually where I threw the first bag, you see there. And this is basically just to kind of demonstrate all of what it is that's going on. I wanted everybody to be able to fully understand what was going on in VR, rather than having to guess and me trying to explain it. It's far too difficult, and honestly, even looking back, I didn't even realize that package that was right in front of me. But this by far has been the most amount of fun I've ever had playing a shooter in my life, and expect me to do. I'm going to be doing a whole lot in VR. In fact, I'm probably going to be playing this game a lot. But I mean, even I know that they happen to have a port even for Resident Evil 4 that I may even happen to check out. Somebody was telling me that I absolutely needed to check out Resident Evil 4, and I was 100% thinking about it. It was something that had 100% crossed my mind, and I was in order to play it in VR, I think would make it incredibly fun, and I would not mind doing so. But they already happen to have mods in the modding community that allow you to take the regular 2D format and instead make it VR. So I mean, I don't know, that might be something that I'll need to do. So you see, I can turn, I can reach down, I can grab. Now I actually have manual reload turned on. That's why I have to reach down and grab a clip and put it inside of my gun myself. But you see, I can actually just turn my body and look around myself, and it makes things really convenient for what it is that I'm trying to do, where you know, whether you're aiming, if you're trying to do something specific, if a teammate is standing in your way, you can actually reach over them and fire over them, rather than having to worry about needing to shoot through them or telling them to get out of the way or something to that particular degree. It really puts you in control. Now, honestly, it's all about fiddling with the controls to begin with and figuring out what kind of configuration you want to have. Now, what they had at first and what they begin you with is a teleporting motion, and I hated that. So apparently there's another VR game that's called Tarkov or something to that extent, and this is the control scheme that they have that is similar too. And that's what I actually wound up using. And I walk with my offhand, and actually, I don't know if you noticed that right there, I actually have to squat down to crouch to get down inside of that hole. I can't just stand up and walk through it. But this really is the most immersive way I have ever had to play any kind of a game at all whatsoever. Being able to aim, as you can see, my stamina and my health are right there in front of me next to my gun as well, so I can very quickly observe those without being taken too much out of it. Melee is up there on the top right. I've also got, you know, spare bags. This is ordnance. You can pick them up and then you can push the fire button to throw it, but they also make it where you can push down on the stick and it just comes out, so there's no need to actually pick it up anyway. But and then you would, you know, you grab a bag, you set it wherever it is that you want. You can also do the same thing with the stick, which is what it is that I forgot to use. But switching from sidearm and secondary to primary is it's very much so a breeze, and everything happens to be easy. It's not difficult to do at all, and it happens to be one of the most fun things that it is that I've ever happened to have done. But if this happens to interest you and you're ready to get into VR, man, I would definitely happen to suggest grabbing you a Quest 2. They're only $200. Check it out. but you are going to need a PC and Payday 2 in order to run this. But if it's something that you're thinking about doing, can't wait to see y'all out there. Y'all have a good day. Peace.